Wellington City Council staff are urging councillors to push ahead with the harbourside fencing as the end of the term looms. The deaths of Sandy Culkin in 2021 and Isaac Leavings in 2023, both believed to have fallen in the night, reignited concerns over the unfenced stretch from Te Papa to the railway station. Since 2006, 9 people have died near the waterfront. Coroner Catherine Craig found the council had long known about people tripping and falling and has called for urgent action, including permanent fencing near Shed 5 and Kumatoto, plus better incident reporting. The project's price tag, though, has jumped from $7 million to, $30 million. A tough task and ask for a cash-strapped council. Some argue safety should be a matter of personal responsibility. Councillor Ben McNulty said earlier this year that before any decision is made, there has to be consultation with the public. And he joins me now. Hello, Ben.
Good morning, Leah. How are you? I'm
good, mate. Hey, look, interesting, because we were just talking in the last half hour about councils and rates and you know, what you spend your money on. So this has worked out quite well. Can we start, though, Ben? Am I right in saying the council's Environment and Infrastructure Committee are being asked to release just over $7 million for edge protection over parts of the waterfront, and to do it without public consultation? Now, is this spend already included in the annual plan? So is there any reason for that not to happen?
So yeah, you're correct in terms of the ask. It's to go ahead with Kumatoto and Queen's Wharf in a decision tomorrow, fencing that entirely. Yep. The money was allocated, so we have amended our long-term plan in recent times, and as part of that, we basically, I think there was an envelope of 11 or 12 million that was allocated for future waterfront fencing. So they're asking for permission to take 7 mil of that to go ahead and do that without the public consultation.
Okay. But there is, I understand, you can put me straight, going to be public consultation on the rest of the waterfront fencing in the next council term, correct?
Well, this is the officer recommended approach, is that yes, they would like to have consultation on the lagoon and on the Te Papa end, but they would like us to proceed tomorrow. That is, of course, what they've put forward. We as councillors have the ability to change that outcome.
Yes. Well, rates, of course, you know, Wellingtonians facing 12% rise, following a hefty 16.9 previous year, if I'm right. Can the City of Wellington afford a $30 million fencing project, Ben?
Well, when we decided to stop the sale of the airport, and we were told, okay, we need to cut $500 million of capital expenditure out of our long-term plan over the next decade, the first briefing we had after that decision was on waterfront fencing, and it asked for $30 million. And you can imagine it went down like a cup of hot sick for all councillors, because we're being told, wait, we have to save 500 mil, but you want us to immediately go ahead and spend 30. I mean, frankly, we can't, is my honest assessment of the situation. We cannot spend 30 million. And alarmingly, what's not in the paper and decision is tomorrow is debt is cheap. It's cheap to build things because, in a sense, if we spend 30 million, you can pay it back over 50 years. So in terms of the rates impact of doing a capital project, you don't feel it in this as heavily. But what you do feel is then the maintenance, the depreciation, the ongoing operational expenditures that come in. We don't know what that cost is. Yes. As of the votes tomorrow, we don't know with the $7 million, what is the annual fixed cost then to maintain, because this is obviously a high stress environment in terms of Wellington's weather, salt, waterfront, wind, rain. So you're expecting a heavy degree of usage on this infrastructure and for it to be under, immense levels of stress. We don't know what that cost though is, and that is where the alarm bells sort of come in, because when you're trying to be prudent with spending, you've got to think about not just the upfront cost of building the thing, what's the ongoing fixed cost that gets rolled into the rates bill. So I've put that question in. I don't have an answer for it at this stage. I'll probably need to ask it in a workshop tomorrow, but I can just reiterate to your listeners, we don't know what the cost will be to maintain this infrastructure.
Oh, God. I mean, look, you can understand that families of those people that have lost their lives say it's the council's duty to protect the public. What do you say to that?
Oh, and it is. And I don't think there is any disagreement about an appetite for targeted safety improvements and fencing in some certain key spots. What we've got, though, is, and it's a bit inbuilt, symbolic of the culture of the council, is an all or nothing. It's like the town hall. You spend this money or you don't. Well, actually, that option was just you spend this money. There wasn't even an option not to. So we haven't seen our officials come back with a more detailed or more nuanced approach. They've gone, nope, fence 2 entire precincts head to toe. And I don't think there's opposition to looking at those key areas and having some nuanced approaches that, where there is a particular degree of risk. But that's not the decision that's being put in front of us tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I guess the one thing that, this is a shocking figure, I have to give credit to the Green Councillor, Geordie Rogers, for pointing this out yesterday. The per metre cost of the fencing is over $3,000. In New Zealand, the square metre cost of building a house is between $2,500 to $4,000 a square metre. So we are talking about a metre of metal versus a square metre of jib, concrete, plasterboard, glass, windows, insulation. It would be cheaper to house the waterfront than fence it.
Great stat. Jeez, I'm glad you gave me that. My God. I'm floored. Chris is texting. Morning, Leah. No councillor who votes to fence Wellington Harbour will get my vote. Not sure why they don't go broke and simply drain the harbour. I'll go for broke and simply drain the harbour. No, but they're not going to do that, Chris. But Ben, that's the feeling, right? I mean, no one, don't do this. Do not fence it. You're not. Yeah. Okay.
I have. I've got an amendment that would put any fencing decision, including the 2 precincts, Kumatoto and Queen's Wharf, to consultation first. As I said earlier in the year, that's still my deeply held view that there needs to be, if we are going to proceed, there needs to be a consultation and a buy-in, and especially this close to the election. And that's not saying that the council doesn't have the authority to make this decision. It's just recognising that the unfortunate political reality is by proceeding this close to an election, you're going to taint the ability for council to meaningfully consult on the other precincts. Wellingtonians will lose faith around what the council's engagement process is, and you won't have the social licence. And I don't think we already have the social licence to do those precincts. So my hope is that would be the least worst outcome tomorrow, is that we agree that any fencing decision will still go behind a consultation.
Right. Ben, then can we just quickly change tack here? Nominations have closed, as you just said, close to the Wellington mayoral race. By the beginning of next week or end of the week, if it's tight, Wellington will have a new mayor ready to take the reins. 12 candidates in the mix, Ben, ranging from what I can see is seriously committed to downright quirky. What do you make of the mix?